Okay, I have never played the original XCOM before. I played Enemy Within about 2 years ago in 2017, so all that I know from cultural osmosis is that Enemy Within is an attempt to take what was a pretty brutal, hardcore game from the 90s and make it a little bit more mass market palatable. Is that true? Like, Enemy Within was still pretty brutal for me as a novice tactical RPG player. You know, like my experience with tactical RPGs is like Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre and that sort of thing. So, they haven't made it easy on me. Very good. So like Warboy and Sup, do you guys have like some history of, you know, XCOM UFO defense and how the Open XCOM project got started? Because this is an older game, and what y'all have done is you've made it compatible with modern systems, right? Like right now it's running in full screen, widescreen, 1080p. I'm guessing if I just bought the game on Steam that it would not work that smoothly, right? Same vein as Final Fantasy Tactics gameplay-wise? Sure. Something I noticed about XCOM Enemy Within was the upside-down difficulty curve. At least if you were willing to save scum and like preserve your soldiers as much as possible and let them level up, that the end of the game was significantly easier than the beginning of the game, just because your characters were so strong, right? I think that might just be true of tactical RPGs in general, that you can't get around that unless if you turn on something like an Iron Man mode that doesn't let you save or auto-saves or prevents save scumming in some way. I did want to read through some of the notes that Mind for Fish passed along before we started playing this. So the first thing he mentioned was to run Open XCOM and then turn the loud-ass music down. So I've already done that in the options here. I've set the music volume down a bit. And we've set a few combat options before even starting. We've got path preview turned on that shows a pathing preview for soldiers if they go to the location. We have path preview time limit, shows how many time units the soldier has left on a path. Death notifications tells you who died, which seems kind of important. I'm surprised that that's not in the base game or isn't turned on by default. So those settings are all here. Arrows, time units, and death notifications. Allow a building queue lets you queue at multiple facilities to build up on a base. You can set and forget for a while. Inventory stats tells you your soldier stats on the inventory screen, which sounds pretty useful. Auto end battle attempts to end battle immediately if you've killed all the aliens. Otherwise, it just waits until their next turn. So I guess that literally doesn't matter, right? Like, there's no reason why you'd want to wait for the next turn for battle to end. May as well just end once the aliens are dead. Follow bullet trajectory with the camera. I guess if you don't have that turned on, then you don't necessarily know where your shot went, maybe. Confirm fire mode. It makes it so you have to confirm if you fire on an enemy so you don't do it by accident. That sounds pretty useful. Lets you strafe with button combos. And finally, we have a mod turned on that adds your soldiers' names to a note if they're any better or worse at certain stats. Or shows letters next to their names to show if they're better or worse at certain stats. Name them all Snowball. Too much of a filthy casual to get very far. Okay, sure. Oh no, these all seem like pretty modern game design. So the stuff in this list, these options, these are stuff that y'all added in Open XCOM that weren't in the base game? It doesn't scroll as smoothly. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Sure. And I haven't turned on any of the other options here, but if autosave frequency, that seems good. Save scumming, no. Okay, so I think I heard about this. I think this is true in Enemy Within as well. The one that I played 2 years ago. That there's like a preset RNG seed. So it generates a certain string of random numbers, right? And it uses them in that order every single time. So if you fight an enemy, you shoot them and you get a value. If you reload the game, you'll get exactly the same value if shooting them is the very next thing that you do, right? In order to change the value, you would have to take some other action, like shoot a different enemy or allow a turn to pass and then shoot an enemy. Leave that a no. If something breaks, we can see it in testing. Okay, very good. Everything in options is a new feature by default. It's 99% vanilla. Really? Oh, there's a lot of really good stuff in here. Right on. Okay, I'll go ahead and try to get started. I think that the screen is probably fine. So, what difficulty do y'all recommend? what would you consider to be normal? Is this the kind of thing where beginner's already hard enough? Yeah, that's fair. I appreciate that. I guess I can always just pick experienced. Because I could do a level in beginner and see how bad it is, and then try to up it up after that. Veteran's probably the closest to normal. Okay, we'll try that then, and I'll leave it off Iron Man for now. Select a site for a base. Okay. This is interesting to go back and play after playing the relaunch of XCOM, just to kind of see how they were trying to interpret the original game. I wonder if my base selection matters or is a cosmetic choice, but I'll just pick something for now. We'll call it my name. Little Mouse Smooth Scrolls. Oh, that's clean. Very cool. Beginner's pretty challenging. Alright, well, we'll see how far we get in like an hour. Go to base. Okay, alright. This is intimidating. I'm going to try to figure out what I'm doing to get into a combat here. So I can build new base. Nope, we don't want to do that. That's what we just did. We can check out the base information. So, personnel available versus personnel total. I have soldiers, engineers, and scientists. We want to try to cover land masses. Oh, okay. So you want to try to eventually have a base. You want to have the radar for your bases covering as many land masses as humanly possible. Gotcha. So normally I have a pretty aggressive backseating spoiler policy, but since y'all are here and because this game is pretty, brutal, famously brutal, and was released in 1994, then I'm going to relax that. Just go ahead and you can tell me you should click this or you should do this. You guys can also, if you type !hide before your message, people in chat could see it, but I won't be able to see it, so you can always check with that too. Difference in design between this and new XCOM is it focuses more on strategy or base management. The new one focuses more on tactics or battles, I see. Yeah, because I see we're already kind of summarizing monthly costs, and that's in the new XCOM, but it's kind of just a nod to that mechanic instead of something that you really focus on. Oh, did it let you name the soldiers way back in the day? That's pretty cool. I guess I can just start going down the list of names in chat here. Let's do Akifall. I didn't realize that was around way back in the day. That's pretty cool. Brutus L. Darkstower E. Yahan. Yeah, we currently have XCOM 2 is on the voting spreadsheet, and folks are looking at customizing soldiers before the game even started. Name your aircraft in Open XCOM. Wow. Gotta name your victims. You still live with game goals. Shoot out UFOs, build your bases, go on missions, research up to the last mission. Is the game beatable? Conventionally beatable? Or not really? We'll just keep going down the viewer list, I guess. And mine for Fish is sunblock, so perfect. Equip craft. Oh yeah, this is a 90s era PC strategy game, isn't it? Build facilities. Okay, but I start with $4 million. Now, here it's... Okay, so I'm trying to tell it where I want living quarters to go, basically. I want to panic and take Tony with me. Somebody speedran it in 12 minutes. So what does beating this game mean? Does the 16 over this tell me it's going to take 16 days for that to build, basically? Can I see... So, okay, I'm guessing that living quarters probably affects the number of soldiers that you're able to have. Laboratory affects the kind of research that you can do. Radar maybe increases the radar radius around your base itself. Missile defenses are in case you get attacked. Hangars so that you can build more planes. alien containment is to let you capture rather than kill aliens. There's a UFOpedia. Okay. That sounds helpful. Guess if we're only playing for about an hour, I don't need to stress out too much about like all of the macro stuff. There's a good chance that if Mind for Fish, you keep this on your sub block or add it to the voting system, that I would just start a new game anyway once I get serious about it. But I'll go ahead and open that on my tertiary machine here and check it if I have questions. Alien containment is important because it stores live aliens. The rest increases various types of storages. So does that mean that you have no storage at all if you don't build anything, or you start with some base level of storage and then building facilities gives you more of that kind of storage? Yeah, there's no way there's already an alien containment. Start with the base level. Okay, gotcha. The Geoscape. Time's already moving. Now, we played, what was the game, Syndicate recently on stream, where like the clock cycles were a problem. We were even playing like a modern GOG release of the game, where if you didn't manually adjust the clock cycles, the time would move so fast that like you would max out all the research instantly or game over instantly. It was kind of crazy. I did Intercept. Oh, the UFOpedia is in-game? Is this something that that was added in Open XCOM that y'all added, or was this in the base game too? Check storage and base information. Okay, let me find it here. Really? That's cool. Like, I feel like this was the era of, RTFM when it came to game design. It was like, we were going to expect you to read the manual. Okay, so I can see like living quarters, space used versus available. So I have available engineers, but I don't have available soldiers. Why aren't they showing as available? Civs one? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the era of in-game wikis. Yeah, when you said UFOpedia, I just naturally assumed that you meant, like, on the internet. They're currently assigned to a craft. Oh, I see. This is the crew of 8 on the Sky Ranger 1. These are the crew. Okay. You want everyone doing a job all the time. So, scientists do projects, and I can tell them, okay, so this is pretty similar to the new XCOM. I can tell them to make laser weapons. Let me see if I can increase the space this game is taking up on the screen, too. Maybe that's the scaling settings. Hold up. Options. Full display. Oh, but that's super tiny. Okay, maybe let's not do that. Maybe we want the opposite. God, yeah. Let's do the opposite of that. Maybe 1.5 times original. That's a little bit better. Should be easier to see. I want it to be original if I want it to be as big as possible. Okay. Cool. Yeah, since I already have this stream overlay, make it easier for people to see at home. So I can send them to a destination. I don't want to do that just yet. I want to finish sending my scientists to do things. Research. New project. Let's do medkits. And allocating more scientists makes it take less time for them to complete it, I assume. So now if I go back to base information, it should say that I have 0 scientists available, but I still have 10 engineers available. Okay. Gotcha. Engineers do manufacturing. And so if there's nothing in the list, does this mean that the scientists need to finish researching it first, and then the engineers can manufacture it? So they're going to be useless for, like, a mission, basically? It's not a linear decrease. Okay. So it's not necessarily always correct to dump all your scientists onto one thing? Keep Battlescape at 1/2 display. Okay. Alright, I think I'm going to give it a shot here. If I want to save my game, I can do it from here. Let's go ahead and do save game 1. So when I'm going to select a destination, I can basically just pick anywhere, or are there like specific alien callouts that I'm looking for? Or do I have to wait for there to be like an invasion to know where I should be sending my ships to? You don't need to send them anywhere until you see aliens Area 51. Okay. So there aren't... You're reactive in this game, right? It's in crafts on your own, they'll just scout. Scouting, can they uncover something? Like if you proactively send them out? Yeah. I'm going to ask about the timescale. UFO 1 detected. Size small, altitude high, intercept. I see. Scouting can cover areas not covered by radar. Okay, but you eventually want to have everything covered with radar if you can. Sure. And then I can advance the time rate to catch up to it faster. Oh, but it got outside of my range. So I could tell it to patrol, I could try to select a new target, I could go to the last UFO position, or I could return to base. Okay. This is kind of cool. So from an open XCOM perspective, can y'all summarize like what you've changed? Because this game seems like it's actually aged pretty well, even if it is brutal, you know? How much of that is stuff that y'all have done? The options menu definitely feels very, very clean and fresh. 1/6 will do time compression. I'm going to try to intercept with interceptors. So under what situation would I want soldiers? Like a crashed UFO to send them to investigate something on the ground? How long do I have? The fact that it runs in 2019. Yeah. Oh, we've played some older PC games that I think I had at least one that I had to run into a virtual machine. And it was still like really, really janky the whole time. Crashed or landed. So I send an interceptor to take down a UFO, and then after the UFO goes down, then there's a crash site that I can investigate. Options, extra info, lines on the globe. More obvious in the battlescape. Okay. Am I safe just kind of waiting here? Like, if I just sit here on a fast time progression until I see another UFO, like, am I wasting something by passing this much time unproductively? I guess is my question. Let's see how my research is coming, for example. Set it to max speed and it'll just alert you? Okay. Gotcha. So if I do intercept this time, if I send an interceptor instead, they should be less stupid. This time we caught it. Standoff. Oh, cool. It actually zooms in on Africa there. So these are different like strategies I can use, different kinds of fire. This is like follow versus shoot. Cautious attack, standard attack. Oh, that was all real time. Shoot, I thought that was like turn-based. Still chasing it, right? Or can it not catch up to it now? Is that a crash site now, this green square? Landing site 1? Press an attack button. So, as time steps are passing on that interceptor screen, that's real-time combat, and I can select different sorts of styles during the combat to change what's going to happen, right? Send a Sky Ranger at it now. Okay, let me keep it set to 5 seconds here. I can intercept landing site 1 with Sky Ranger 1. Gotcha. And I only know it's there. I guess if I hadn't have sent the interceptor, I would still know it's there. Can my interceptor do nothing to it once it's on the ground? Yeah, why would I want to bring the interceptor back? Is it like using fuel while it's out here or something? Do they like automatically refuel when they're at base? Aerial dogfights only, okay. And I see they each have their own little mini radar around them, which is new to Open XCOM. Begin mission, yes. Explore landing site and if possible gain entry to the UFO. Mission will be successful when all enemy units have been eliminated or neutralized. Recovery of UFO artifacts and alien corpses can then be initiated. To abort the mission, return XCOM operatives to the transport vehicle and click on the abort mission icon. Brutal. Okay. So they start with stuff in their equipment automatically, it looks like. Gotcha, and then they have like backup pistols and grenades and stuff. Turn 1, side XCOM, press button to continue. Okay, so I'm going to try out some different video scales here. Okay, I see why we don't want that. Maybe 1.5 times. See which one looks best for stream. Can I like do a zoom on the view of the screen as well? Oh, was I in the Geoscape or something? My bad, thanks. I was confused. There, okay, that makes more sense. This is probably fine. So I can use the arrow keys to move. Let me save the game here. Move the screen around. And these are the time steps it's projecting. Okay, so it's like all actions consume time steps. That includes moving and acting. So if they stood still, they could do multiple actions that they wouldn't be able to do if they moved and acted. It's not like they have a move action and an act action. 1/3's best for 1080p. I'll try it one more time. Yeah, that actually looks pretty clean. Thanks. The path preview is new. Now, Aki needs to end... This soldier needs to end their turn before I can start controlling someone else, right? And it's super dark, too. Green can still shoot. Yellow can move here but not shoot. Red cannot move here. Oh, that's super useful. Everyone gets their turn at once. We can control the other soldiers. Oh, that's cool. This game looks really good. I'm kind of impressed by that. So, how do I change the layer that I'm looking at? Is that the scroll wheel? So I can see inside the ship, for example? Scroll wheel. No cover Overwatch. Move and shoot, try not to die. Okay. So it's kind of like what was a Jagged Alliance game as well. You can already see why this game was popular though when it came out. Like, looks really good for 1994. Was there a multiplayer for this when it first came out? Like, would you want to do multiplayer, or was the allure the single player campaign? Right click to turn to face cursor. Oh, I see. Turning doesn't consume move? Or no, maybe it does. That's the little green stat. So the direction they're facing matters. Does that determine their like detection radius and what they'll shoot at? I'm just adding people from the chat list. It's faster than trying to open a queue for it. You've got a cone of vision. Okay. And they will not shoot unless if it's on their turn, I assume? Not enough time units. Okay. So I guess I'll end turn and see what happens. Alien side. Hidden movement. They can reaction fire if they roll well. Oh, crouching is an option. That's like one of these guys here. Kneel. Penitent man. I do kind of like the everyone acts at the same time approach. That's kind of cool. They didn't use all of their time. So if they have even one time, can they reaction shot, or is it based on whether they had enough time to be able to shoot normally? Buy flares to assist with vision. Weight matters too. Is there a hotkey for kneeling? More TV is more likely to react. Basically, it's RNG. Okay. Gotcha. This guile-looking dude. And stat tracks a stat for it. Gotcha. I see. So, I feel like in the XCOM remake, you really wanted to discover entities on your turn, right? I mean, with the Overwatch system, sometimes you wanted to have them walk into your field of view, but you had the most advantage if you could discover them and start fighting them on the same turn. So if I want him to shoot now, I select his gun. Aim shot. 81% means I'm guaranteed to miss, right? Units only move on their turns. Nice. There's no free alien move like in the new XCOM, so you can sneak up on them on your turn. I see. They have the power to reaction fire. If I'm kneeling, I have to stand up to be able to walk. It doesn't like make you crawl. Next one's aggro system was they can't attack you the same turn they discover you, so you wanted them to move into you on their turn. You have back and forward buttons on your mouse. They can scroll through units. Oh, I do. That's very convenient. Cool. Thanks. Gotcha. So next time I should probably, like, place them in that order so it's easier for me to quickly jump through them. Yeah, because, yeah, this is pretty high stress. Interesting, I feel like a lot of the other tactical RPGs I've played are not about, like, unit discovery. I feel like that's something that makes XCOM kind of special. That it's more about, like, information control, I feel like. So does terrain matter to how likely I am to get hit? Like, if I'm crouching in the middle of a wheat field, am I safer, generally speaking? And are my soldiers gaining XP as they individually, like, take out aliens or fire on aliens, or does XP gain happen for the entire squad when a mission ends? Covers a thing. Okay. Block shots affect time units. I see. So there might be certain terrain that's harder to walk through, basically. Right, so we know there's an alien in this building. Now, did that alien, like, walk past the window, which is why I was able to see it briefly? Would I normally be able to shoot through something like that? Not enough time units. Okay. Disable that then. Go ahead and kneel here. You could see the alien before he went past the window. K's a hotkey for kneel. Okay, thank you. Oh, jeez. Well, Darkstar has been killed. I didn't know why it wouldn't let me shoot him through the window there. It said not enough time units, but I thought that the icon was green still. Yeah, Marstead 7, right? This is the time. Snapshots, not aimed. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, so aim shots require more time value. Likely you're going to get to aim if you haven't moved that turn. I guess that makes sense, that you're like lining up the shot from a distance. I really kind of like the aesthetic of XCOM, that it's like, you know, the old school gray aliens, at the beginning at least. Further away, the harder it is. If a soldier's directly spotting an alien, see a 1 flashing on the bottom right, and you can click it to focus on them. Okay, I'll try to keep an eye out for that. Oh, jeez. Nice shot. Good job, Kiri. And that's basically all of his move for the turn. Okay, I understand now. Alright, this might not end well for me. Get multiple fires with auto shots. Do I have any reason to investigate the corpse of a defeated alien in this? If I had played this when I was a kid, I would have been super into it. I see, so it consumes a lot of time value to go upstairs. Sure. My head's already poking through the top of it. Now, does elevation matter for, like, vision radius? If I have someone that's on the top roof of a building looking out a window, can they see further than someone that's lower down? I assume no, right? Sometimes they're unconscious and not dead. Cover the corpse aspirin if you didn't annihilate it. Okay. Whoa. Oh, I guess I can't jump over that thing. Gotcha. Soldiers have grenades. Vision cone's 3D. Interesting. That's pretty crazy. Too late for me to turn this character around. Alright, shit might go south here in a second. We'll see. Hey, Spider Doom, how you doing? Yeah, I like the aesthetic of this game, for sure. They're really good old-school sprite graphics. So are the door sounds that we hear during enemy movement actually relevant? Like, are those really doors that they're opening or closing? Or is it just, you know, letting you know that the enemy is doing something on the turn, basically? Yeah, you can see their distance there. They're real doors. And, like, let me think of how to phrase this question. How does sight radius work? If this dude that's on the second floor looking out this window can see slightly further than everybody else because of being at a higher elevation, does that mean that my other soldiers who are lower to the ground might be able to shoot at something that they wouldn't be able to see otherwise if he wasn't helping them out? Like, would I then be able to click on the alien and kind of blind fire into that square? Or do they all need to have vision on a creature to be able to shoot at them? That's exactly how it works. That's super cool. can imagine they're like communicating via headset or something. Something I kind of liked about this era of gaming, that there was a lot of player imagination that went into whatever the game was trying to make an abstraction of, right? So is this is like the edge of the map over here. Okay, so looking out this window is not helpful to me. I see. Perhaps looking out this window might be later. There is a squat site. I'm going to turn the audio up a bit, it's pretty quiet. Oh, I'm at my elevation level's too high. There we go. I think I've discovered the ship over here. I've sent mine for fish on the most dangerous mission, which is probably not the best idea. Limited sight but infinite firing range. I dig that. That's pretty cool. Now, does firing range affect their accuracy? You can blind fire at empty tiles if you're lucky. Yeah, that was exactly what I was getting at earlier. That's very cool. I dig it. If you're gonna die, it's gonna be in this game. And I have no reason to like go back to the corpses of my allies, because if they leave like guns behind, those will get recovered automatically. Starter missions in the original XCOM. I see. You can miss at close range but still hit. Oh god. Well, Brutus is no more. Sorry, Brutus, you got sniped. Oops. This character's not really helping by being over here. I'm going to send them back down the stairs. This has been a pretty good mission so far. Yeah, give me 1 sec here. Tried turning it up a second ago. That's better. The default setting was pretty loud when I first booted up the game. Mine for Fish was right. Yeah, I haven't really played like a horror tactical RPG before. That's kind of awesome, actually. Like I said, it's more based on discovery. Alright, Johan, you should go hide. It's not like a lot of tactical RPGs where you have perfect information about the battlefield. And there might be limited specific stealth objectives, like maybe there's brush that if you walk near... No, mine for fish! Okay, so those aliens back there... Kiri died from a fatal wound. Alright, that's a thing that can happen. Yeah. Pretty good mission. Got 2 kills off at the beginning, that felt pretty nice. So what's the best possible way, just from like a game advice perspective, like how would someone who knows what they're doing deal with this situation? Just keep trying to like come up around cover as much as possible? And there's not cover, but there's natural cover, and that if the enemy doesn't have line of sight to you, they can't shoot you, right? Not do a night mission. Did I have a choice there? Could I have just waited outside the landing site for time to pass or something? Just undercover and nuke everything. and more equipment. Oh, even in the first mission, more equipment. Because you have enough money at the beginning to start buying stuff right away. Soldiers in the starting craft, plenty of cannon fodder. Gotcha. I'm guessing if I walk out here, I'm gonna get shot like immediately. What kind of gun does he have? See inventory, heavy cannon. Rookies are for dying. If I were to run away now, would anything come of it? Would it have been a complete waste, or would the aliens I've killed, like, given me something? The entire audience would be dead. Don't get connected to your soldiers, basically. And they have to physically be on the ship to evac, right? XP for all the living soldiers will get XP, whether they contributed to the aliens that died or not. Okay. Pick up a corpse and carry it back to the craft. You can research it. Oh, I can pick up the corpses. Oh, okay. I might try to do that then. Through the window. Jesus. It's a hell of a shot. So how do I... Is that a option down here? Pick up corpse. Kneel, maybe? Inventory? Oh, I see. Oh, I see ground, so I can put it in backpack, and that increases my weight. I see. And I could also try to bring... Oh, it uses time units to loot them. Okay. Gotcha. That's cool. So, her movement's gonna be... Akifal's movement's gonna be worse, because they're gonna be full up on stuff. I see. So weight is one of the biggest things that affects your time value units. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. To get used to the whole elevation control thing. Now, is there a gradient to weight, or is there just a burden versus overburden state? Like, does each additional point of weight make your time units that much worse, or it's only you're above the threshold or under the threshold? It's a gradient. Okay. Let's see. Still have more stuff I want to pick up here, so. Kitties, don't knock things over. Akifal has gone berserk. Okay, that's a thing that can happen. PTSD is in this game? Is that from getting attacked, basically? I can really see why this game is so popular when it first came out. And, like, enduring. I don't know, I can see people, like, arguing that the remake is easy XCOM, but I feel like it did a pretty good job, now that I'm seeing what the original game was like, of, like, capturing the spirit of the original, while still being less terrifying to, like, a newer gamer. Right, that's new to the series. Characters have a bravery stat. Akifal's almost dead and freaking out. That's crazy. Akifal died of a fatal wound. Mega Man has panicked. So other events that are happening is freaking everyone out, like them hearing someone dying there. Panic just makes them run away, basically. Morale lowers throughout the fight. Can morale go up as well? This is XCOM. Yeah, so like the beginning when I happened to kill 2 aliens and everything was fine, like, you're not kidding, that's not the real experience. They drop gear when they panic. If they drop gear on the ship and I escape, does the gear like get saved because technically it was on the ship, or does it need to be on their person? Yeah, having like what's basically a sanity mechanic in a tactical RPG just seems crazy to me. Alright, abort mission. Aliens killed 2. XCOM operative killed 5. I mean, rating poor. Yahan got some XP. Mega Man got some XP. Leon doesn't care. Plus 10 bravery for Mega Man. Lost in service. Do my Aki, Brutus, Darkstar, Kiri, Mind for Fish. Okay. So we've seen combat. Now that can I still send my interceptor after the thing? Oh no, because I sent it back to my base already. Okay. My Sky Ranger's already on its way back to the base. Turning to base. But I could send out another interceptor, if I'm understanding right. It's not refueling to try to shoot this thing down again. That's the gameplay loop. Gotcha. Standard time. UFO returns fire. UFO outrunning interceptor. Now, if it starts outrunning, does that mean I can never catch up to it? With that particular vehicle? You might if you wait it out. Okay. Need to have a faster ship. Is there anything dangerous about me sending my interceptor that far out from base? They change direction and speed. Right. I could have like another base somewhere where I could try to send an interceptor to go and intercept it. I'll return this one to the base. And then I'm going to go to my base and I'm going to try to make some decisions here. So, Sup Super and Warboy, did y'all just play this when you were younger? Like, what got you into XCOM? What made you want to work on the Open XCOM project? Yeah, I need to buy soldiers, right? Memorial. So how do I go about recruiting new soldiers from in here? Purchase recruits? Purchase recruits. Soldier. Lots of them. Purchase lets you get everybody, like, can get more scientists, more engineers. Not enough living space. Okay, so living space is shared between soldiers, scientists, and engineers. Rifles. Like, a number of rifles equal to the number of soldiers that I'm going to have? Pretty cheap, actually. What governs my, like, rifle storage? Is that one of the base units that I can build? Useful stuff even with 0 tech. General source for items, living quarters for people. Okay. You see... Can I see... How do I know when they're going to be done with the medikit progress? Is progress poor because I have so few scientists allocated to it? Players for night missions, ammo for rifles, lots of grenades. So is there a good like relationship between number of units to number of rifles to number of clips? Like, you know, 1 rifle per unit, 2 clips per rifle, or something like that? Just have to wait, there's no progress bar. Is it, there's just a random chance every time step that they might finish based on the, how many scientists are assigned to it or something like that? Avalanche missile launchers. So the interceptors don't start with missile launchers. How many total can you assign? So I currently have 2 interceptors. If I have 1 launcher each, is that enough? 1 rifle, 2 clips is a good ratio. Okay. More aim shots in full auto. There's 2 weapon slots per craft. So which of these are interceptor weapons? The Stingray and the Avalanche? Avalanche and Cannon. Are there different use cases for the 3 of them? Avalanche is the most powerful. But it has really expensive ammo, it looks like. Or the cannon is expensive, but its rounds are not. Just trying to understand. They have different ranges. Sure. Does the maximum range impact when the enemy ship is determined to have, like, fled, like, escaped you? Infopedia gives us stats, okay. Heavy weapons and platforms. Cannon. This is for tanks. Interceptor. Max speed, acceleration. Damage 70, range 30, reload time, rounds. Nuclear warhead, heavy load. Armor piercing rounds, okay. I see. So the Avalanche is like super accurate. You only have a few shots, but when you hit, you're gonna hit really hard. Hey Ascendant, how you doing? Long range, low ammo, mid range, mid ammo, short range, max ammo, crap damage. I see. Okay, so the range converts to time. That makes a lot of sense. So I can see if it's refueling, that means that I can outfit it, I assume. That's equip craft, right? So like this one has a Stingray and a cannon, and I could turn that into 2 Avalanche missiles. I think I get it. Thanks guys, this screen is like super intimidating if you don't already play XCOM or know what's going on with this. You're just gonna be like, oh my god, that's like a million things to buy. So, but I think I get it. So if I bought 2 of these, I need equipped craft, and I went to my one that's refueling, and I replaced this with an Avalanche, and this with an Avalanche. Oh, can they not have 2 of the same kind, basically? Cannon fires way more often. So is it generally correct to have an Avalanche and a cannon? Vaguely resembles EVE Online's, or like Dwarf Fortress, right? Oh, I have to wait for the purchase to arrive. Interesting. Can I see how long that's taking? Or can I see that I have a pending purchase coming? Because this says 0. Base info transfers. Arrival time in hours, okay. So these are my new soldiers that I'm waiting for. These are the rifles that I bought. Here's the Avalanche launchers. Okay, I understand now. So I should just pass that time really quick, because I can't really do anything until I have those resources. Items arriving rifle, okay. Gotcha. So now, see, when you guys are saying you have to wait for it to return, I'm like, you're talking about the interceptor that's still out? That makes a lot more sense. Cancel. We want to go to the base. Quick craft, interceptor, avalanche, avalanche. Rearming takes time as well, sure. Oh, interesting. So one of these already had an avalanche and I just replaced it with the one that I bought, but they actually are swapping out the old avalanche for the new avalanche, and that's taking time, isn't it? So because I don't have immediate access to the old avalanche until they finish swapping them out, so I can't like queue it up to equip on the second one. Okay, I think I get it. Let me pass some time then. Should be enough, I think. Yeah, now they show ready. There's 2 avalanches. Yeah, I'm gonna do that here in a sec. I guess cannon is probably better. So they need a crew. I don't think my crew made it here yet, though, so I need to pass time until they get here. We'll probably end with that. Go to base. Yeah, I kind of like that you can just set it to the max time step and it just stops when something interesting happens. That's a good way to do it. I'm just going to name this based on remaining people in chat here for next session. And these people are all going to die next time. Probably going to get to loop back around to the list several times. I feel like you didn't really get this feeling of the lethality of combat in the new XCOM because, like, it was so productive to save scum and, like, keep all of your soldiers alive and give them tons of crazy, like, genetic upgrades and stuff at the end of the game. I think I went through that game and maybe let 1 or 2 soldiers actually really die for real, you know? Can use the arrows. It'll keep the answer that I put in. Thanks. Helpful. I wasn't sure I would accept the name change. Let's do... Look at their stats and make fun of them. So their stats are just like completely randomized when you pull them in? Is it a legit strategy to like recruit 50 dudes and then just try to keep the ones that don't have garbage stats? Fire everybody else? Every death felt avoidable. You only died if you were an idiot. Which makes a crappy feeling, which makes you want to save scum. So it's like, do veterans of this series recommend Iron Man mode? Like, is that the real way to play, for lack of a better word? Someone with 10 bravery. So, like, while you're learning, it's maybe not that big of a deal to be safe scumming a bit. I really need to recruit a lot of people. I'll probably just leave the rest of these alone. We name every single soldier. Maybe we'll name some remaining ones next session. Safe scumming every turn. Learn to accept losses. Name your commander Zap. I mean, with sending wave after wave of my own men, right? It's not inaccurate. Alright, I'm going to try to trigger at least one more ship here. Intercept. Let's see how it goes with the interceptor, and then we're about at time. Alright, I'm going to do aggressive attack. So aggressive is generally a good idea. UFO crash lands. Hey! That'll be a great starting point for next episode. And then I can send a landing party to investigate the crashed UFO. Now, if the UFO crashes, does that make it more likely that I won't face armed resistance, or I'll face less armed resistance than if it had just landed on its own? It's hard to screw yourself compared to new XCOM. That's interesting. Yeah, because I guess I did realize that in new XCOM you wouldn't really soft lock the game, but you could get to a near unwinnable state by being in the late game without superpowered units. Crash sites have less loot but less aliens. Oh, that's an interesting balance. Okay. So if I wanted to send the Sky Ranger out, which I didn't actually finish equipping, so I should equip it now. So that future Marstead in a later episode is not very sad. I just crew it up here. I can just select them, I see. And it'll show me my max space, right? We're already at max space, okay. And the equipment's going to include stuff like rifles. We only really need to have like 14 rifles, 28 clips. All the grenades are probably fine. Okay. Armor, I don't really have yet. Okay. Might be a good idea. Yeah, wait for daytime this time. Seems like a smart idea. I literally just do that by waiting for the light to get there. So I'd have to buy more avalanche missiles to be able to rearm the interceptor. Okay. So now if I take my Sky Ranger and I send them to the crash sites, then I pass the time to get there, begin mission, I'll save the game here and we'll be able to pick up next episode. So future Marstead, you're in a mission. You probably just want to watch this entire episode to know what the hell's going on. Play it safe, be careful, and enjoy. Big thank you to Warboy and Subsuper for coming in and giving some commentary on this game. This was really cool. If you want to keep it on your sub-blog, Mine for Fish, I'd be happy to play more of it. I think this feels a lot more like a curiosity. It's like, oh, what was it like back in the 90s? Like, I actually kind of want to play more of this and get good at it. And it seems like having Open XCOM just adds a lot of little quality of life features that make it a lot more playable than maybe it was when it first came out. But I'll let you guys know what's coming up next. Good luck, future Marstead. You are fucked.